Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 373.
373.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. The holidays kick off this week, November 6th. Although, today there is Jingle Cruise. And we were just there for
Christmas tree is up.
Yes, we were just there for the last Halloween yesterday, and now it's like all Christmas all the time.
Magic happens overnight sometimes.
And yes, and MEI and Mouse Fan can assist you with 2020 holiday travel, or especially 2021, maybe next holiday season.
Absolutely. Now we're going to return to part 2 of our Polynesian resort visit that we had started last week on our show.
I know. I mean, it feels so long ago. I don't even know when were we there, like two weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a really nice 3-night stay. Again, we did it very, very last minute.
But this is one of the niceties that we discovered. We discovered that we both love these special pancakes.
Well, we don't really go to Kona Cafe that much, but we found that we did the table service mobile order, and we ended up doing it like 4 times at Kona,
so
including
convenient.
3 breakfasts. And I don't think I've had the macadamia nut pancakes before, because generally we'll order like the Tonga
I
toast.
would remember if I had this before.
These were really good. Like I had no idea. Now we've had them like 3 times, because they're so good, and because you can order them. And like the other day I went and you were like, I was going to get oatmeal, and you're like, get the pancakes.
Yeah, oatmeal. I mean, you're in there. You can have this awesome macadamia nut.
I've had more pancakes in the last couple of weeks than I have the rest of the year. So they were really good, though. And then we had ordered a child's meal also, just because we didn't really want another full meal. It would have been too much. But
it worked out perfectly,
yeah.
Actually. I mean, just a little bit of the eggs and the potatoes, but
a little something on the side.
These pancakes, spectacular. And I don't know if I could eat a full serving, an adult serving myself. They give you quite a few.
Well, the other day I had almost a whole full serving, like 2.5 pancakes.
Okay, so tell the story. This is actually before the shop here, the boutique shop even opened, and you saw, it was Christmas. This was 2 weeks ago.
Right. There hadn't been Christmas merchandise that I had seen, I think at one other store somewhere on Walt Disney World property the day before. But I think I was going to get the pancakes.
Mm-hmm,
and I looked in the boutique store, and all of a sudden it's like Christmas merchandise. And I told Jeff, and then we went back a couple hours later because we went to the Magic Kingdom.
We are now at the Magic
Yes.
Kingdom, and we're going to show what happened when we went back.
Okay, we'll show that later.
Now, the first thing we did at the Magic Kingdom, I was really in the mood for the Haunted Mansion, because the last time we were at the Kingdom, it was a very long wait. So we decided to rope drop it, and we got here before the park officially opened, before 9 o'clock, and they had a line. It said 10 minutes, but as soon as things opened up, it was very, very quick. I mean, it was probably 5 minutes or less.
Most of the time when we go to the Magic Kingdom, unless we hit something first thing in the morning, especially, I don't know what it is about the Haunted Mansion, but that attraction often has a 45-minute wait.
And that's
more.
Without the stretch rooms. I mean, that's with a direct
you just
line
walk
right to the
in.
Doom Buggy. So I'm surprised as well. But I mean, I love the Haunted Mansion. It was Halloween season still, and I really wanted to do it. So we rope dropped it, and it was worth it. I'm glad we did.
And then we did it, I'm sure you'll say, a second time, because there was really no wait when we left. Then we were able to just hop right back on, and we could have done it even a third time if we had wanted to.
And you could see that section of the queue not even filled up yet at the time, and there's no stopping and waiting for them to open the door. It's just a direct pass, and you employed your iPhone 11 to take some pictures here, and these are nice still pictures, no flash. Look at how clear that phone takes it. You did a great job.
Isn't that amazing? Like, my Nikon would never get clear shots like these, and it's not like they'll look a little over processed if you make them big, but still the fact that you can get them with a phone is amazing.
And we had a little breakdown in front of the ghost, and this is a picture that you took with the iPhone. So nice. I mean, I bumped up the color a little bit, but a great job. Now, only about an hour later, this was the scene at the Haunted Mansion, and you could see quite the line going all the way down the riverboat queue into the old keelboat queue line, and then through the Haunted Mansion queue. I mean, the line where you'd get in the line kept going back. We were trying to get to it, and you had to keep walking.
Over here
yeah,
by
it was
this
insane.
time.
And this was only an hour later, so it just shows you the importance of an early arrival if there's something you really want to do.
But the first month or two after the parks open, we really didn't go to them first thing in the morning. But I feel safer going first thing in the morning and then leaving as guests, arrive in the next few hours than I do getting there at almost any other time except maybe later in the day.
Right. And I'm just kind of showing what I had just said earlier. You could see, I mean, it's good because they are trying to distance the guests and everything. We have not actually waited in this extended queue, but you could see that it is marked. I mean, people are distancing, so I mean, it's probably just fine. And here's a look at the scrim outside. It's a small world.
And the line. There was there's been a lot of lines lately. It's been a little busier, and not everything is busy. You know what doesn't usually have too much of a wait is Little Mermaid, right? Right.
And the busiest, I think, when I'm taking this video here on the way to the Little Mermaid ride, and we just walk right on that one.
Right. That tends to have maybe the lowest wait of any attraction in the park. It just, eats people, but you would think Haunted Mansion eats people too, and it that always has a wait.
So anyway, that was just a very quick run in the morning. We did a few other rides, Big Thunder and a few things, but really we were staying at the Poly, so we just wanted to have a couple rides at the Magic Kingdom and then get back to enjoying the resort.
Mm-hmm. And so we took the monorail, and again, just getting there first thing and then leaving as the lines get longer is how we often roll at this point.
And we also wanted to get back to see the Christmas merchandise at the shops because, again, they weren't open when we left. We went very early to the Magic Kingdom. Our first stop was, as you just saw, Moana Mercantile, and you can see they had a small amount of Christmas items here.
And can I say, they used to have, the Moana arcade, and I always thought it was just like Mona.
Yeah,
like growing
Mona's
up,
Fun Hut.
I always thought it was like that. So it's
Same
funny now.
me.
I look at it and say Moana, but I used to call it the Mona, Mona Mickey.
Well, that's how it looks, you know? So it's funny that we both did that.
So there is a lot of merchandise, and there's still more coming in. And also, we just posted an article on Mousesteps about the holiday treats. I was going to say Halloween treats.
Yes.
Holiday treats that are starting on the 6th, including one that looks like a carrot cake cookie at Trolley Car Cafe, but with red velvet.
And there's those cute little Mickey plushes there, and you got the full-size version, the very thick...
Mickey and Minnie
but there's no Minnie in the small size, at least in this shot here. I like the magnet, too. I'll have to pick one of these up at some point.
The gingerbread items are very similar, almost exact, to what you will find at Disneyland Paris, and that's something that I have loved in merchandise at Disneyland Paris since we really started going, because when you go during the Halloween season, you've got the holiday merchandise coming in droves because they love their Christmas merchandise. But anyway, all of the gingerbread stuff, and now I have several items. It's very reminiscent of Disneyland Paris.
And this is one of those bags that if you spend a certain amount of money, you can purchase that, purchase with purchase.
Yes, and so there's also a stocking here, but there's so much more holiday merchandise than what we are showing right now. It was just really cool to see it at the Polynesian.
Completely unexpected. Last thing I thought, just like today, having the kingdom with
a Christmas
fully
tree
decorated
and everything,
and the Jingle Cruise running. Never would have thought that.
I can't believe it because last night it was Halloween. It's so weird.
Well, this is what I wanted to show. Now, by the time that we got back, which was only about 2 hours later, all those plush were completely sold out.
All the gingerbread plush were gone.
Right.
And then you still have the mini, but they had the peppermint ears, the lounge fly bags, a whole bunch of items were gone. And apparently there was a big line of probably resellers mostly.
Yeah, one of the cast members said somebody bought all of it. The same person bought, just wiped out the bags. So I'm glad I wasn't there for that.
The one good thing is usually the merchandise is restocked, not necessarily at the Polynesian, it wasn't. But, we picked up some ears for me, gingerbread ears.
At Epcot.
At Epcot. In the International Gateway, they also had the peppermint ears. So, all this merchandise is generally going to come back.
You see those candies there, the individually wrapped chocolates that was just there on the side? We still have last year's version.
Oh,
Wonder if it's still good.
I don't know if it's still good. But I did buy that.
The tree?
Yes, and I don't remember if I bought it here or in Disneyland Paris. I first saw it at Disneyland Paris.
I remember trying to get that thing home.
Okay.
You bought two, actually.
Yeah, one from my mother. And so it was the same one as ended up coming here.
Oh, and there's some ornaments. I just wanted to make sure. And of course, because it's Disney's Polynesian, you have Moana and you have Stitch.
Mm-hmm. And here's one of the spirit jerseys. And that's something else where they had like 3 different spirit jerseys. But we only ended up seeing one because the others were sold out
and even
in 2 hours.
These two I have not seen again since this day. I don't know if you have. You've traveled around the park that one extra day. I like how it has the peppermint inside there.
I think I may have seen it. Like, I went back and there was some stuff I wanted to get, and I ended up getting 20,000 steps, and Jeff wanted me to check on Crocs for him.
Yes.
And I ended up stopping at like 4 resorts. I took the boat to the Wilderness Lodge and I walked everywhere except where I needed a boat.
They have some Christmas Crocs, which are lined with red velvet. I mean, it sounds like it's something that would not be a wise purchase.
It sounds like a cupcake. No, but we don't know if it's in men's
Yeah, it doesn't look like it goes up to men's sizes.
But I had a great time just running around and then I went to Disney Springs. So, by 2 p.m. I was home and 20,000 steps.
That was a good
really good day.
And I like this shirt too. Very, very nice. This is something that perhaps I will be purchasing. I like the retro look to it.
And I expect we're going to the Magic Kingdom tomorrow. It's going to probably be 61 degrees when we go tomorrow, and I can't wait for that weather. But I'm hoping they'll have some of the Christmas merchandise now out in the Emporium.
Is there an official date where they say the Christmas merchandise will be resort wide? Would it be the 6th as well, or is it just as it comes?
I think just as it comes, and I think by the 6th you'll see it almost pretty much everywhere.
Okay, so anyway, that was our first look at the Christmas merchandise. Then we went to Universal Orlando. Hadn't been there. We went there this Thursday towards the very end of the Halloween season, and we had not seen a lot of the offerings in the Universal Studios park. So the first thing we did is we decided we're going to do the Scarecrow Stalk. It's sort of like a scavenger hunt game where they give you a map and you go to all the shops, 13 different shops, and you find the Scarecrow, and then they will stamp it for you, and at the very end you get a yummy treat.
And I wish we had gone to Universal earlier in the season. The hard thing is we generally just go into the parks a couple days a week, for safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so Universal, we haven't even been to Animal Kingdom in a while.
Couple months now.
Right, a long time. And I keep wanting to go back there as well. And you just have to be, thoughtful, I guess, on where you go.
But in a way, just because it was just a couple days, like 2 days before Halloween, it was actually, I was really in the spirit for it, and it was something we hadn't done. So I really enjoyed this. We were with our friends, Matt and Jackie, Matt from Attractions Magazine, and he hadn't even done it, and he goes to Universal a lot more than we do, so I didn't feel so bad.
I'm surprised they haven't done it, because they live closer to Universal, so they're over there quite a bit more. But this was really fun, and looking for it wasn't too busy on this day. The weekends have been, I know, very busy at Universal. And this weekend, like you did 2 haunted houses, you're going to be talking about them. This weekend, they ended up opening a third house, the Beetlejuice house, and I think it's just for the 2 days.
Because of a contract thing they had with Warner Brothers, they had to open it for at least 2 days. At least this was what I've read. I think I read it at Theme Park University, our good friend Josh Young's site.
Why not do it for a week? Why not do it for 2 weeks?
Well, they didn't really want to open it. I mean, this is something they had to do so then they can have it for next year. So that's why that happened. Everybody who I've talked to that has been through it, though, loves it.
Yeah.
So it's been getting great reviews. If we had time, I would have loved to do it, but we had to, we had planned to do the show today.
Well, it would have been nice to have it like when you went, through the houses
Thursday.
to have that available. But anyway, this is just a look at the various
well, they're all themed. Like this is in where the Mummy attraction is, the roller coaster, and you could see the little coffee cup that Brandon spills there.
I don't even know if I noticed that. Like, I took a couple of pictures, but I didn't always. I think just because it's the really this
Speaking of
is
pictures,
funny.
that's you taking a
Yes,
picture
I was like
of the
away.
menacing
I was like
Stillwalker.
social distancing. I didn't say that, but I moved back.
I like
That
this
was
guy.
funny.
This reminds me of the Iron Maiden mascot, Eddie, the way he looks.
I didn't take as detailed photos because I wasn't doing an article on it because it's over now. Like
Right.
it was the end, and I really wish we had done it at the beginning.
Well, I hear there's a Christmas version, so this time you can do it much earlier if we can get ourselves over there. And I also wanted to mention that, in case you haven't noticed, all these scarecrows and skeletons are themed to the particular shop that they're in. So this, of course, would be the Transformer version.
And apparently the Christmas one could cost money, but this one didn't cost anything, and there was even like a little prize where you'd get like I got candy corn, and we'll show that.
That was the scariest part, that you had to get candy corn.
That's not scary. I like candy corn.
So do you think the prizes will be more elaborate then if you are paying?
They said probably an ornament.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
Yes,
That's cool.
yes, I think so. Yes, and so I don't know how much it would cost. I'm assuming somewhere. We'll see, maybe $10 or something. I don't
So
know.
speaking of the prizes, there you go. There is your little bag of candy corn, and I had a little bag of candy corn gummies.
And that was nice. It was
Very
nice.
nice. I loved it.
I thought that was so fun, and I was surprised that they went to such, to such a extent, and plus those houses, they did really good for Halloween.
Well, here's the look at the houses. We got to do both of them. Even though it said 25, we probably waited about 15. And The Bride of Frankenstein, that was my favorite of the two houses. I thought it was really, really well done. I really liked the story. And then you had The Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. That was pretty quick. It said 15. It was probably about 10 minutes to get in. And that one, again, it was more just the attempt to scare you and startle you. So I didn't follow the story as much, but I still enjoyed it, and I would have loved to go through the Beetlejuice house.
And by we, you mean you and
Myself
Matt.
and Matt. Yeah,
I didn't go through it.
you are not a fan of the houses.
Then we went into the tribute store, which is the tribute store, and some of the other things they're doing. So well done, and it was a little busier than I would prefer, so I didn't spend too much time in here.
But like you said, what a great job! Look at how I mean, this is the very first thing you
This
see.
is a store,
Right.
like they went all out, almost like, and you were going to get this.
I tried like 3 times to get in my own
It wasn't
Frankenstein.
But it was the way they did the house, and also we'll look at Cafe La Bamba is just insane. Literally, they just did a great job.
And you're looking at various icons from Halloween Horror Nights over the years, so I guess that's why it's a tribute store. But as you said, just very, very well done. It was a bit crowded in there though, so that was the only thing. It was
That's
hard
why
to
I
get
left early.
Right. And I think this was your because there was a lot more to it, and you kind of departed at that point,
Yeah,
so
I
you
was-
didn't get to see. I thought these treats were really neat looking.
And I would have maybe even gotten something. I just thought it was a little busy for me. And so I was in there like 10 minutes, and then
You
I was
can
like,
see them
over and
now.
out.
I mean, look at how cool these treats are. Of course, they're accentuated with the black light and all, but very nicely done.
It really.
This one's
that looks
beating these little beating heart things.
I'm
there.
not into that. So I've only been to a couple horror nights. I'm not really into that type of scares. So the tribute part is sort of lost on me. But treats are always cool, right? And I would have, again, might have gone it. I don't even know where this was because
Right. Well, there was 2 or 3 more rooms after you left, so you missed quite a bit.
That's
This is
okay.
where all the Beetlejuice stuff was.
And I didn't.
This is
see
a whole
this.
nother room after the candy room. So it was a very elaborate store.
This I felt like it was a small store, but it was a little bigger than I guess I thought. But
Yeah, like 5 different rooms, and here's the little projection in the background. Nice. I mean, that's extremely well done with the Beetlejuice here.
And really, so a lot of guests got a little bit of horror nights. A couple houses. Some can see 3 houses plus the store.
Well, right. Even this Cafe La Bamba here, which apparently was at one point serving alcoholic beverages and other treats here. This was another very well done themed Halloween place.
Well, I mean, it's hard to to say what it is because they weren't serving anything at this time, but it looked like they were still occasionally having treat items or at least drinks.
And you're walking by all these displays while you're on your way to get either your food or drink. So I mean, this would have been very cool to see it in action.
Well, I think it's even cooler with nobody in there.
Well, yes, in our case, that is very true.
And so, yeah, I wasn't expecting all this. Obviously, I haven't been paying nearly enough attention to what's been going on at Universal for Halloween. But I'm looking forward to seeing, it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. I'm going to assume they're going to do at least a modified Halloween Horror Nights at Night by that point. I don't know if they'll be able to do the full scale. But they did almost like a quarter or to a half of a Horror Night.
But now you see what I mean. I mean, going through all this on Thursday, we really got a lot of nice Halloween in with the minimal, wait. It wasn't like it was very difficult to do all the things we did. We were able to see everything with no problem.
Well, we didn't try rides. Rides were a little busier. We did do the Bourne Spectacular.
And look at this. We are seeing now this float. Last time we were there, as a matter of fact, every time lately we've been to Universal, they've had the larger Minion float. So it was different to see this smaller version. There's Gru. Gru is very animated up there on the top.
And I didn't remember that they had the bigger one out. So, they, just like Walt Disney World, they do kind of like cavalcades. So they don't have their parade running right now. Although they have started running Cinematic Spectacular a little bit. Maybe on weekends. I don't know if they're doing it this weekend.
And I like the way they do. Instead of having it as a moving cavalcade, they'll just pull it out and park the float and you're able to get your selfie.
And we had lunch at Richter's Burger Company, which wasn't great, but Lombard's was closed for filming. They still do some filming of TV shows there. And they were doing that over at Lombard's.
And Lombard's would have been a great choice because they have that nice outside balcony up on the top. And they said that normally we would be able to sit there. So next time, that is where we'll go. Around that time, we saw online that the new sign had been installed for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. So off to Epcot we were to ride the Skyliner and check it out. And there is our first look at it.
And I always love riding the Disney Skyliner.
Yes.
So, and I didn't really want to go out the next day to get the sign, so it was really nice to be able to do this just before the sun went down.
And not even just the sign. You could see there's still a lot of work being done in the pavement and also with the creperie. You see more banners and things over there. So a lot of work being done in this area.
Well, banners, you mean the awnings?
Awnings,
and such.
that's the word I was looking for, correct.
So, for those who've been to Disneyland Paris, or if you haven't, I actually wrote up an article that showed a couple of pictures of the sign in Disneyland Paris for their attraction, which is the same attraction. It's really different. It's much more subtle. Ours has so much gold, and we had some French friends online calling it like, how we must think like France is like Versailles.
Versailles. I was just going to say that's a tribute to Versailles with all that filigree and gold.
I think it's a lot of gold, and I think the rest of the sign is fine. It's probably just a little too much gold for me, but maybe others love the sign.
Well, it'll be lit up as well, so it'll be different when it's lit.
I like having the real Remy though. In France, their sign just has kind of the whiskers, like an outline of Remy. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the difference between the two.
So now this takes us to last night. This was Halloween night, and you can see not nuts getting into the Magic Kingdom on Halloween night at about 5 o'clock or so. And the first thing we saw as we walked in was Jack, Sally, and Oogie Boogie, and this was their very last cavalcade of the season.
And the entrance was easy and good, and the park was a little busy for me, and we were just there a couple of hours. It was nice to see Jack and Sally for the last time as soon as we arrived, and then also the Mickey's Booty Cavalcade, which we'll show.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the whole time. But I always love Jack and Sally. To me, it's not Halloween without them, and to be able to see this on Halloween night right away, it was a very nice start to the very quick evening.
And the Mickey's Booty Halloween Cavalcade, it was funny because I felt really like people were getting too close to me, so I changed spots, and all of a sudden we had the best spot,
Sometimes when you change at the very last minute, it's not for the better, but this is one of those cases that it certainly was.
It was a good place. So there is Oogie Boogie, and I really have enjoyed the Halloween cavalcades, just like the non-Halloween. And there is a
family of mummies. Yes. A lot of great costumes. That's another thing. A lot of great costumes we saw on Halloween night last night. And here is where they had moved the Roy Disney statue to put up the tree, which is now in place. So
it's so hard to believe.
That was a good precursor last night that things were going to be happening soon.
And it isn't like they needed to take down very many decorations. All it was the Mickey wreaths, but still, you know, the fact that they were able to get that tree up and everything, it was surprised me.
Now, just look at the cast members. Look at the energy here. This is the very last of the cavalcades for the day and for the season. And, you know, I have never seen this type of energy as far as the cast in a cavalcade all season. It was amazing, especially Mickey. You'll see Mickey's doing all sorts of twirls, jumping into the air. It was awesome.
And there was, I'm going to assume, cast members just cheering like crazy for them. You know, like you'll hear it if you watch the video.
I'll link to it. They're screaming and yelling. There's so much excitement going on. It was great.
And you don't see that type of excitement too often. And it's like, and we were like, okay, it must be the last one of the day, you know? And, but Mickey really, especially here, as it's just about over, really got into it. And again, this was like my area because I was a scaredy cat. Like, I don't want people around me. And we found a really great spot over here. And it was just perfect, you know, for them going backstage.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you could tell it was a really kind of almost an emotional goodbye, you know, because you work so hard. Even though it was a short season, you know, they're out there doing this every single day, multiple times. And even the people, even the other cast members, I mean, are kind of sending their little support there to the costumed characters.
The performers there, I mean, they really got into it more than ever on that last one. So that was really fun.
And now we finally have some dusk here. It's getting to be nice and nighttime. I really wanted to be at the Magic Kingdom with after dark lighting and night and all that. So it was for me, it was really fun to walk around and see the change from the daytime to nighttime.
But usually when we've been here towards the evening, it has gotten less and less crowded, where in this case, it felt like it was almost getting more and more crowded.
Well, because the park was still open, number one, and it was open till 9. Usually the park for us, it would have closed at 6, and we'd still be there at 7:30.
But generally, as it gets towards the end of the day, no matter what, you know, it starts getting less and less crowded. So this is sort of what we should expect for Christmas, since they're actually going to do a little more for evening.
And you can see here the rivers of America have been drained. I'm not quite sure what they are working on, but it's been quite a long time. And the last time they did this, they had walls up, and this time there is no walls. So, you know, you're just able to fully see the drained rivers of America.
Yeah, and, you know, nice,
I
reflective.
prefer it this way.
It's interesting. And so Space Mountain is nicely lit up. And it would have been nice if the castle had been kind of lit for Halloween, but it's really nice that Space Mountain was.
Yeah, and I noticed that as we were going away on the monorail, it had changed colors too. So I'm sure throughout the night, just like at one of the parties, although during the parties you would have seen like a spider or something projected. And here you would see Mickey's, you know,
Halloween,
not so scary Halloween party. So that brought back memories to see all of this. And now it's fully night, and you're seeing the castle. I prefer the castle at night, actually, than during the day these days.
Well, I think, you know, the blue, it's really very heavily painted and everything, but we also have a very harsh sun here. So in a year, it's going to just be fading a little bit. It's funny to look at pictures of the castle from a year ago, because it was actually very faded.
And as we were walking out for the very last time on Halloween, the very last thing we got to do is wave goodbye and wish happy Halloween to Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, Daisy, and some of the performers. Very, very nice.
I went to Starbucks.
Yes. Well, we both went to Starbucks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you went.
Yeah, but saw this.
I actually went and sat outside and had my Starbucks, but it was nice to see them. You know, they were in there. I think this was a costumes they wore the first day
Right.
of the season.
Right, and they closed it out with the new costumes.
And it's funny because the one where he had a jester costume, he only wore it 2 or 3 times probably.
So that is it. Happy Halloween. That's the end of Halloween, and now it is Merry Christmas, Christmas
oh my
time.
gosh, it's hard to believe.
Thanks
that
to our
it's
sponsor,
Christmas.
MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Yeah, check them out. If you're looking to travel, I know, not everybody's looking to travel right now, but for next year, I think, especially spring and after that, I think spring hopefully will be nice.
Or if you want a last-minute Christmas trip.
If you want a last-minute Christmas trip, yeah. And I'm, what, I am so surprised that we have Jingle Cruise at all this season, and the fact that it's, already going.
I can't wait till tomorrow to see that. We're going to try to rope drop that ride.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. We know some of what they're doing for the holiday season, but I had no idea Jingle Cruise was going to come back. So it's nice it wasn't cut for this year.
Yeah, and so next week you'll probably be seeing lots of Christmas on our show. We'll have the very first official day with the Cavalcades of Christmas starting on the 6th, and you'll also see, just whatever we get tomorrow as far as the decorations. Maybe there'll be some more decorations. I noticed that they didn't have some of the traditional items out, so we'll see if those return.
I mean, it's more than they did for Halloween, so
much more.
And so Friday is the first day of Christmas. Sunday we're planning to be at Animal Kingdom also.
No, Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Oh, sorry, I keep thinking Animal Kingdom,
No.
but I guess Animal Kingdom will be a few weeks.
Yeah.
Gosh, I keep thinking Animal Kingdom. We're going to Disney's Hollywood Studios on Sunday, and they will have that red velvet whoopie pie, which will be cool. I've never thought of the carrot cake cookie as like a whoopie pie, but it sort of is.
Oh, and we
right?
should mention, since we'll be at Hollywood Studios, they've changed the way that you can get a boarding pass. Why don't you quickly explain the new procedure?
Oh, you mean for Rise of the Resistance?
Correct.
Well, we haven't done it, but I think you could be at home and at like 7 a.m. as long as you have a park pass or wherever
That
you
is
are.
absolutely correct.
You can try to book it. And I mean, that actually works out way better because, there are, guests who get there and they're super disappointed, or you only book the park pass to try to get into it. So I wonder then you could try to get in, and if you don't, you let it go, and somebody else who might want to go to the park just for the park's sake might be able to get in.
And I'm seeing online today that they must have increased the capacity because they didn't sell out in seconds like normal. It lasted for about 10 minutes.
Wow.
I noticed they have plexiglass now on the vehicle, so now they're loading all rows, and also they have plexiglass in the different queue areas, so I think they're trying to put more and more people through it. So that is probably why you're seeing easier to get boarding passes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the plexiglass. I think it sort of takes away from the experience. I'd rather have, I don't know.
If I had never been on it, I probably would. For now, I think I will wait.
And going away from that, I just wanted to mention, and I know that pretty much everybody has heard this, that almost all of the entertainment cast members were laid off as far as, those from the Hoop-de-Doo, from Citizens of Hollywood, Citizens of Main Street, and some of them are friends of ours. Most of our friends have not been laid off, but some have. And
also the thousands of hourly cast members,
right,
too.
and that's what I'm saying is like our friend Amber.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they are gone forever. It just means for now, I kind of wish that they were able to do something like Citizens of Main Street with, even if they have to wear masks or socially distance, it would have been nice if they could have continued some of that, and maybe Hoop-de-Doo outside, socially distanced. But currently that isn't the case. And I just want to mention the Second Harvest Food Bank is probably who we are going to recommend if you want to help out cast members. It's a big organization, and you can find it both in California and in Florida if you want to help out cast members. And also our friend, and we didn't get this set up, but Jim Doyle, who is an actor at Walt Disney World, has art of a castle, and he's been selling that. I posted that on Mousesteps.
We will link to both of these places on the show notes, of course.
Yes, and
and Disney has released a statement also responding to all this, saying that when the time is right, they will be rehiring and having more entertainment back again. So, I mean, they are saying there will be a chance to get them back.
No, I think that we're going to see it. I just don't know when the pandemic's going to be over.
Right.
But it would have been, I wish they could have sort of
furlough that longer instead of a full layoff for the...
Not just that. I mean, if you could have the citizens of Main Street, again, socially distanced, at least some of them, and you could still interact and such, just find creative ways to do it.
Right, you could turn them into the people that tell you to keep your masks on.
You could, you know what? You totally
could. Why not? That would be perfect.
So why not? I just, I hope that in the near future, Disney finds creative ways to bring them back even before the pandemic is over. And I know that's kind of lengthy, but if you want to help them out, we're going to talk more about that. And I know I said before that we were going to talk about it a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't sure what they were doing in California yet.
Right.
But I really think Second Harvest is equipped to handle, a lot of donations. And, they are actually a organization that's been in place such a long time. And they're really well regarded here. And, I'm sure in California as well, same company. So if you're looking to help, everybody has needs in their own community though, but I just wanted to mention that.
So thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.